So I wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about relationships. And I wanted to give you a tip on how you can look at your relationships in a brand new way. So every single month, once a month, I sit down with God and I have a nice long conversation about the relationships in my life with Him. I sit down and I ask 3 questions to God, and He always, every single time, hands down, gives me so much wisdom and discernment about certain relationships in my life. So the first question I ask God, who in my life is healthy? Who in my life am I serving you with and it's going well and you think it's very good and you're pleased by it? And I give Him praise for those people that He brings into my mind. I jot down their names. I give gratitude for those people in my life. And I just thank Him for those people that I can glorify Him with. So that's the first question. The second question I ask myself, who in my life am I wanting to honor God with, but there is some struggle there and there needs to be some change in the relationship? So usually it can be with your spouse. You might have had a hard week, you've been arguing, but you know that relationship is a covenant relationship. Or your children, that's also a relationship that God desperately wants you to have, So how can I change God to make these relationships better, to where they honor and glorify you? How can you change me to help these relationships grow and be better, and ultimately that they honor and glorify you, Lord, and give you the glory? The third question I ask myself is, what relationships in my life are not serving you, Lord? What relationships in my life are not honoring you? And I'm going to speak some truth here. If you are in a relationship and you're having sex and you're not married, that relationship is not honoring God. If you're in a relationship with a friend and you're out smoking weed and doing alcohol and all the things and getting drunk all the time, that relationship's not honoring God. So you want to ask yourself, do I really want these people in my life? How am I going to grow with God? How am I going to honor God if I have these toxic people in my life? So this is where you would get really serious with God. If you really truly want to honor God in your relationships, you will be obedient and you will let go of these toxic relationships. And so it will be hard. It will be massively hard to change this direction from toxic relationships to healthy relationships that honor God, but it's so worth it. And God loves you. He wants you to be obedient. He wants you to make good choices, and it's ultimately for your protection. It's ultimately for His glory and for your good. So if He's asking you to let go of a relationship, let it go. Is it going to be painful? Yes, it's going to be very, very painful. But is it worth it? Is it worth knowing God more and honoring God more with your life and allowing more space and room for healthy people to worship and serve God with? Absolutely. So this is my tip for you, those 3 questions. Who in my life do I honor God with that's healthy? Who in my life should I be honoring God with, but we need to make some changes? And who in my life is not honoring God with? And every time, he speaks every time. Pray for wisdom, pray for discernment, and ask Him to give you the heart of obedience that you need to love Him more and to honor and glorify Him more. Have a good day.